Plug it in. When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
There's no better time to be a Jags fan, especially when you're a My Gate Rewards member. Gate is giving you the chance to meet the man, Trevor Lawrence. You and 3 of your friends can meet Trevor Lawrence in person at the stadium. Entering is easy. With the My Gate Rewards Gatorade Club, for every 5 Gatorade products you purchase, you'll be entered for a chance to win. See store for details. Gate, your hometown convenience store.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is going big.
That's right, Austin. Sports bettors can win a new truck, get the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus, and even get up to 30 risk-free bets.
Touchdown. BetUS also has a 150% casino sign-up bonus.
Blackjack, now you're talking, Austin. They also have live dealers and live betting on sports, including racetrack.
Get started today at BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here. Hurricane season is upon us. That's why I always recommend Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial, residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights, 10-year workmanship warranty, financing is available, military and senior citizen discounts, no subcontractors. Give my buddy Mark a call, 982-4052, licensed and insured, or go to Patriot Roofing Services online.
Pastor Joby Martin here with the Church of 1122. We are honored once again to partner with the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for the Great Futures Weekend, which includes golf and Mackenzie's 5K run at the esteemed TPC Stadium course. Help us continue to honor Mackenzie Wilson's legacy. That's Friday and Saturday, November 17th and 18th. You can golf or you can run. It'll be a great time. Additional info at MackenzieRun.org. Proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade. The studied, tested, and proven fuel for the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
Your car is like part of your family. It takes you to work, drops the kids off at school, goes with you on vacation. You feel safe in your car, but all that can change in an instant due to someone else's carelessness. Now you need money for medical bills, car repairs, lost wages. You need help, and you need it now. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Jacksonville.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union, and that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
I want my Woody's barbecue.
Have you ever noticed that some words that were once nouns are now verbs? Like Google? Instead of going to Google, you just Google it. Well, I did that the other day with Woody's Barbecue. Instead of going to Woody's for barbecue, I told the wife that tonight we're going to Woody it. She looked at me kind of funny at first, and then she smiled and said, "Let's eat."
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for Tintin XL. Marty Lee and First Coast won a district title last night over Fletcher, 28-27 in overtime.
Boy, just to see the excitement of the fans and the players, man, it was good to have that feeling back. We had lost to Fletcher 8 straight times. Man, it was just a great high school football game. And I tell you this right here, hey, win and you in, and that's what we had to do. We didn't win, we were not going to make it. You know, we had a tough schedule, I don't know how they do all those dots and dashes and all that, but I know we're district champs, and once you get in, anything can happen.
First Coast head coach Marty Lee last night on 1010XL. It's 78 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Before the storm, right? No. Not here. Not in Duval. You ride the storm out. You ride it like the kid from California did, Surf did in Apocalypse Now, right? Even when those bombs are dropping, you ride them both ways. Friday afternoon. Oh, to be you. Oh, to be young. To be young, to be running and ripping, to be able to just go crazy on a Friday night, and have the wherewithal to sweat it out of you, get up tomorrow, and get back after it. Anyone who's my age or around my age will attest, man, that's the difficult part. You can still party like a rock star, but it's all about the response. It's all about that next day. And you young bloods out there, all you men, all you ladies, be safe. Let me take one from Hayes Carline here. Be safe. All right? Ubers are everywhere. Cabbies. And when's the last time you just hopped into a cab, right? They're out there. They're working hard. You got designated drivers that are out there. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be one heck of a football game tomorrow at 3:30. We're going to have it all for you right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We're going to talk more about that in about 17 minutes with our good friend Tim Brando, who, again, is on the farm. He's got the Cardinal tomorrow. And, hey, before you know it, Florida State fans, hey, before you know it, Miami fans, that's a cab ride from either one of those two places to Northern California to watch a game. I mean, just think about what that's going to be like. It's bizarre. It is. And I'm happy today. I'm on an extra dose of happy pills, but that is just so awful. Think what it's going to be like heading out. I mean, what has happened to the college football that we love? And embrace this game tomorrow between Georgia and Florida. There's not many left like it. I understand it's a conference game, but all of the great non-conference games are, for the most part, have come to an end, right? I mean, we don't get Michigan, Notre Dame anymore. We don't get Texas A&M anymore. We don't get Oklahoma, Nebraska anymore. And in the Pac-12, do you realize that after the month of November, such outstanding rivalries as the Apple Cup is over? Okay? The Civil War, and I actually, let's check that. I may no longer be allowed to call Oregon State the Civil War. I'd hate to get canceled on a Friday. I also will refer to this game as the world's largest outdoor cocktail party because I say it every year. No one has ever said to me, Ballou, you're not allowed to say the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. And I know that I have the power by saying that. It's going to influence you either way to either drink another cocktail or do another shot before you go into the game, as opposed to, hey, did you hear Ballou? He's now just calling it the Georgia-Florida game. And maybe we won't do that extra shot. But you got a great game here. And just look at it. Stanford, Cal, I guess that, no, I don't even know. Is Cal coming too? What happened to California? Are they going to the Big 12, or did they come here to the ACC? I don't even know who the freaking ACC added. They added like SMU. The last I knew, SMU was like facing the death penalty. All of a sudden, they're coming into the Atlantic Coast Conference. So, yeah, a lot of these great rivalries out there are coming to an end, and it's sad because what college football has that the NFL does not have is a great rivalry, right? And I've done my best, and I know everyone on this radio station has done their best to try to really pump up Jacksonville and Pittsburgh and, you know, just how great that rivalry used to be when you faced each other twice a season. Remember way back then how every year here, Jacksonville would win those home games. Every year in Pittsburgh, back when it was Three Rivers Stadium, or I guess it went to Hines or whatever it was, Pittsburgh would win all those games. Look at recent history. Jacksonville's won like 6 or 7 of the last 9 or 10 in Pittsburgh. They've won their last 2 in Pittsburgh, including maybe the greatest playoff victory that this franchise has ever had on the road, not named Denver in 1996. That was the 45-42 thriller. What did, I think Leonard Fournette, best game of his career. Le'Veon Bell was phenomenal. Antonio Brown was phenomenal. It's this league, man. You just mentioned those names, and they're all gone. Antonio Brown is completely whacked out of his mind. Who knows where he is? But Le'Veon Bell, demanded all this money. He held out. It's like he's inventing the game or reinventing the game because he's so patient. Of course, all those NFL analysts never saw Fred Taylor and the way that he used to run the football, allowing his offensive line to set the block. And then Freddie would, with his vision and his wiggle and his getaway speed. But back then, Jacksonville truly was a little market. It was a small market, and people didn't see. It's like, Le'Veon Bell, my God, he's changed the game. Look at him. He's patient. It's like there's been other backs who have been that way. Fournette's out of the league as well. Pete Prisco, maybe the best comment of all time. Leonard Fournette on a 3-yard carry, yeah, he'll get you 4. Leonard Fournette on what should be a 40-yard carry, yeah, he'll get you 4. And he's played himself out of the league. But that's the one difference. College football has massive rivalries. The NFL doesn't. And I don't want to waste any more time on it, but you can jump in at 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. If you were to rank the top 10 rivalries in sports, you're not going to have an NFL one there. And if you are, what are you going to tell us? Green Bay, Chicago? Chicago hasn't won anything since 1985. How can that be a rivalry if they don't win? It's like watching Buffalo last night. Buffalo gets handed the Lombardi Trophy every single September, and then they completely fall apart. And you can look at the Buffalo Sabres, who came into the NHL in 1970. You can look at the Buffalo Bills, who came in with the merger in 1970. What do they have combined? This. They're losers. They're out in a loser city. 0 championships lifetime for Buffalo. If you want to throw the Buffalo Braves in there, and the great Bob McAdoo. And remember Doc Ramsey used to do all that stuff on ESPN? He was a one-time coach there. Moses Malone, before he went off to Philadelphia, played in Buffalo for the Braves. Buffalo's a town of losers. They've never won anything. So, what is the greatest? Dallas, Washington? What? Dallas hasn't won in forever. Washington hasn't won in forever. So, anyway, we've done our best, and I think if you look at games played outside of Indy and Texas and the Texans and obviously Tennessee, yes, Pittsburgh is right there as the 4th most games that this franchise has actually faced. And you know what? They have a winning record. You can't say that about the Jaguars, period. I mean, the Jaguars are what, 202 and 271 lifetime? They got a winning percentage just a smidge over 42%. You know, people are like, well, they got to get out of here. They got to go out and play on the road, win on the road. They can't win here. And they finally won here a couple weeks ago. But I'm like, what? What are you people talking about? Doesn't matter if Jacksonville plays here or on the road. Doesn't matter if they play East Coast, West Coast, down south, Midwest. Doesn't matter if they play in London. Doesn't matter if they play at 1, 4, or 8. Doesn't matter if they play on Monday, Sunday, or Thursday. The Jaguars lose. They're a losing franchise. They've turned it around. All of a sudden, they're winning football games. They've won 4 straight. They're on the cusp of winning their 5th straight game. And I think it's going to take a colossal mistake in order for Jacksonville not to win this game. It feels like a lot of sharp money is now starting to come in on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has 3 defensive players who are questionable. We're going to go through that in a little bit, but what really sticks out is how wounded they are in the secondary, and that's similar to the Jags. But when you look at Joey Porter Jr. and Levi Wallace, is this finally the time that things can open up a little bit for Calvin Ridley in this pass offense? I mean, you got, that whole hope defense comment that was made that I think will fire up this fan base a little bit. I don't know how much bearing, it's actually going to have on the Jaguars, the comments made by George Pickens. And for what it's worth, I watched them. The visual explanation is not as bad as it sounds, if that makes any sense to you. It's kind of like, and here's the best way to describe Pittsburgh. They took that Trevor Lawrence comment about the tiny towels as opposed to, and they've made a enormous deal about this in Pittsburgh. Trevor Lawrence openly bragged about Pittsburgh, the aura of this franchise, the success of this franchise, how they're always ready, how they play winning football, how it's an incredible environment. Yet this is where Pittsburgh is right now. They haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. And instead, they're nitpicking and they're so petty that they're now trying to turn this thing around like Trevor Lawrence doesn't respect coming here to play a game because he said that they are, quote unquote, tiny towels. It's unbelievable. I mean, this franchise, when we grew up, people my age, this was the franchise. That's another one of my issues that I was talking about. That's what's wrong. If you could say that anything's wrong with the NFL, that's what's wrong. You know what the great rivalry was when I grew up in the 70s? It was Pittsburgh-Dallas. Teams from 2 different conferences. And I know the NBA can say that with Boston, L.A., but that was a little different, right? I mean, those 2 teams combined won 7 titles in 10 years. I guess Pittsburgh won 4. I guess Dallas won a couple as well, never knocking off Pittsburgh along the way. I mean, they feasted on other opponents, right? I'm trying to think here. Denver, maybe, for one of those. Was it Minnesota? No, that would have been in the NFC. It might have been the Raiders who they ended up beating as well. Anyway, we shall see. All right, we got a lot to do. Really excited about tonight's program. It's going to be a great time here over the next couple of hours. Lots to cover in the world of football, both college and pro. The win here for Jacksonville is so important for one reason and one reason only. And what I mean by that is if you go 6-2 or 5-3, you get through a break, you come back, you take San Francisco. If the opposite happens, it's the same thing, right? You're still 6-3. Follow what I'm getting at? Whether you win or lose Sunday, you break, you come back. If the opposite happens, you're still 6-3. But what I think matters here is the temperament of the downtime. Okay? Now, this has been a very confident bunch, maybe at times too confident, and that was really evident, the week after their loss to Kansas City, where if you went in the locker room, you wouldn't have known that they had lost that game. And then they had their lousiest performance of the season. It was last year's Detroit. And I guess you can make the case, or at least for the most part, that most organizations have games like this, right? Detroit had it last week. I have no doubt about it. They just completely laid an egg. But to win 5 in a row be halfway through the season and then understand where you are and that you're hopefully getting healthier would be just enormous for this football team. Much more so than heading out of here, losing a game, whether you're not ready mentally or physically, or if mistakes do come into play. I say it that way because I just don't see a situation where if Jacksonville plays mistake-free football, they lose at Pittsburgh. Jacksonville's a better team than Pittsburgh. They really are. Now, there's ways that Pittsburgh can beat them. Obviously, that's why the point spread has been anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 all week long. They're telling us one possession, less than one possession, and that possession is of a field goal variety. They had the better quarterback. They had the better skill position guys. Offensive line, okay. You got to give you Pittsburgh there. Defensive line, okay. Got to give you Pittsburgh there. The contain. Both teams are really hurting at this point. We'll know for sure on Campbell and Cisco 90 minutes before kick. But, hey, Levi Wallace and Joey Porter Jr. both really beaten up in that secondary. And I also think Jacksonville, based on what we've seen around here in the last year, if you go to the second half of the 2022 season, Jacksonville has become a very good come-from-behind football team. All right? This year, they've done the opposite. They've now won 4 straight where they've had big leads, halftime leads, double-digit halftime leads, and 3 of those 4. They made one huge blunder, as we know, in New Orleans. They let the Saints back in. But they still turned around and punched them in the mouth and won the game. So Jacksonville now, in its recent history, has won in a come-from-behind several times, now taking leads, forcing your opponent to play a totally different style of football, particularly in the second half. And on top of that, almost letting one get away against the Saints on the road, tough environment, yet they found a way to get together and still pull out that W. That's impressive. And that's something that I've always believed in, is which way you win games. Coaches will tell you it doesn't matter how you win a game, any way you win a game. No, I look at Georgia this way. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Tim Brando about this. My biggest concern with Georgia was probably adversity. What are they going to do if they're in the fourth quarter and they're in a one-possession game? What are they going to do if they're in the fourth quarter and they're trailing? Well, guess what? Georgia's proven that already twice this year, that they can play that game, right? That game against Auburn was hairy. Absolutely. Even South Carolina in week 3, there was a little bit of, I guess the blood pressure was raised a tiny bit. We've seen college football teams throughout the years just roll opponents week after week after week. And then all of a sudden they get into that 60-minute game. And how are they going to get things done in that fourth and final quarter? To me, that defines a great team. Being vulnerable and going up against adversity and finding a way to get it done. Jacksonville did that just a week ago Thursday night. So this football team is winning despite not tremendous numbers on the offensive side. Certainly not named Travis Etienne, who continues to lead the NFL in carries. All right, much more on the Jaguars coming up, but we are going to get things started with our friend Tim Brando at Fox Sports 1. He's got 5th-ranked Washington tomorrow in Stamford, and that'll be at 7 o'clock on Saturday on Fox Sports 1. I do want to tell you that opening comments tonight and every night are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Right now, go to shmunezvision.com. They explain everything to you, and you can do it at your own pace. You can observe. You can take a look at everything that they offer. I'll simply tell you that that's the one stop. Anything that's your eyes, it's all about Shmunez Vision. And it's so much more than just a eye exam on, the very latest, a prescription for lenses, whether it be contacts or whether it be glasses. So much more than that. We're talking about a high-quality medical and surgical eye care. That's their practice. And I, for one, no pun intended, I can tell you that I had my right eye surgically. Yeah, I went under the knife 8.5 years ago. Totally unexpected. Just went in for a routine eye examination. Dr. Neo Schwinners is like, brother, you got issues. You need surgery immediately. And he went in. He cleaned it out. I visit 3 times a year. There's never been an issue. Everything is perfect. That could be the case with you. There are so many things that happen with your eyes that you're just not aware about. You may be concerned about a scenario of with cataract. Maybe you think you have that and you need cataract surgery. You may. They're the best if so. But they may have a remedy for you where surgery is not necessary. So my advice is to simply go to schmunezvision.com and look at everything that is available for you there, whether it's you, the family, kids, the grandparents, friends at work. Tell them about it. schmunezvision.com. JJ LaSelva is here. It is a Friday afternoon.
It's actually night.
It is a Friday night.
We're used to our afternoon shows on Friday. This feels odd.
Told you after those happy pills. I don't know if it's day or night. I do know I'm fired up about Game 1 of the World Series.
I just put a bet in. I am stoked. Let's just say I'll be cheering for the Rangers.
It's the people's bet. Did you play for the series?
Yeah, I
minus
have the
170?
Rangers minus 1.5 games.
Okay.
Plus
Really?
125, yes. So the Rangers
Gotta win in
basically
6.
have to win the series, or they could sweep or win in 5, whatever.
Oh, 1.5, so they got to win in...
Minus 1.5. So as long as they win by more than 2 games, I'm good.
What an interesting bet.
Mm-hmm.
So
minus 170 was a little too much for me
Yeah.
to just take them with the
For
series.
those that don't know what we're talking about, minus 170, you would have to lay $170 to win back 100. But now JJ's played minus 1.5 as far as games. So
basically,
Texas
if they
is going to
win
have to wrap this up either
anyway
4-1 or
except
4-2
games. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Love it.
I'm excited.
I'm almost getting an itch over here, but not quite. People don't believe it. I'm like, man, I haven't done it in 10 years. I haven't.
Tomorrow night is game 2, I believe. And it sort of sucks this time of year when it clashes with a nice, Saturday night slate of games. But the Saturday night slate of games isn't that great. So, I'm looking right now. 8:03 tonight and tomorrow night. So I might actually have the big TV on baseball on a Saturday night tomorrow.
Unlike our producer before today, R.J. Saunders, who will be glued into Kentucky because no one knows Kentucky.
I heard that.
Like R.J. Saunders. Here's a guy here who wants me to say, I love it when people make fun of my speech impediment or my fat tongue. 5105 says, Ballou, can you please say Bob McAdoo on air one more time? Is there anything I did wrong with Bob McAdoo?
I don't believe so.
5105, let me know.
It is a silly name.
Because I'm really insecure, and this could bother me tonight on this Friday. I mean, case in point, I could have avoided the text, right? I could have just not said anything and thought everyone believes that I say Bob McAdoo the correct way. Now, all of a sudden, I'm worried about this. I remember he came over in 1979, played for the Celtics. I want to say it was Larry Bird's rookie year where Bob McAdoo was a big part. He, went from Buffalo to, the Knicks. He came over to the Celtics, and I think he went to the West Coast. He's a Hall of Famer. But I'll tell you one thing about Bob McAdoo. Man, the guy filled it up. He played for the Tar Heels, right? He was like a junior college guy, went to the Tar Heels. All right, coming up next, an essay on Bob McAdoo. Tim Brando is standing by. He's at the farm in Stanford, California. We have a whole bunch to do with Timmy B on the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and it's coming up.
Oh, can you do the trailer guy voice?
1010XL.
Not bad. Nailed it.
1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Key Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 on new Buicks to combine big savings with a low APR to fit any budget. Like 1.9% APR financing for 36 months. 4.1% for 60 months, or 5.04% for up to 72 months. Also, right now, enjoy no payment on new Buicks until 2024. Whenever you buy a brand new Key Buick GMC, it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
All right, Truth Teller here, checking in with words of wisdom to be applied in life in your business from the business attorneys at Jimerson Burr. Let's go to Steve Miller, who once said, and I do quote, "I got to keep on keeping on," end of quote. Thank you to Steve Miller. All right, Jimerson Burr, talking directly to you business owners. And let's look at this this way, okay? I want to point out a legal health check. That's what I want to say when it comes to Jimerson Burr, okay? So many things could go wrong with your company, things that you would never imagine. Why not bring in the best to look at everything, give you an early detection, to give you the best chance for getting the right legal treatment quickly, avoiding any complications. For all your information, go to jimersonfirm.com.
Mia here. If you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So why are you passing up on cashing winners every weekend? MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs, anytime, anywhere, so you can turn that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, MLB playoffs, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. What better week than the cocktail party ahead, as well as the Jags traveling to face the Steelers on Sunday. Sign up at MyBookie, use promo code 1010XL, and claim your deposit match, redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code 1010XL to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. But I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners. Always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3, Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
The shoulder is one of the body's largest joints, prone to a variety of injuries and conditions that cause pain. Dr. George Barry here, and at Barry Orthopedics, we know an active lifestyle can lead to serious joint pain. We can help with an accurate diagnosis and treatment for a full spectrum of shoulder injuries, from arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, or rotator cuff and labral tearing. Barry Orthopedics can help. If you or a loved one suffers from shoulder pain, don't hesitate to call or log on to barryorthopedics.com.
Man, I'm excited for RV City at Florida, Georgia.
But RV Heaven is just down the road, Island Oaks RV Resort.
That's off exit 333, right? Past McClenny?
Yep.
Will my kids like it?
They'll love it. Tons of fall events are coming, like Hocus Pocus Night and Spooky Island Halloween, plus live music and karaoke. You can stay in a cabin right on the premises. It's way cheaper and better than a hotel.
Where can I book our stay?
Visit islandoaksrvresort.com. That's islandoaksrvresort.com.
Hi, this is Travis Cummings of the Bailey Group, and I specialize in working with medium and large companies to ensure their employees get the best benefits possible.
This is Marcus McInerney, president of Valancourt Construction, and I work with Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group to make sure the employees that work at Valancourt get the very best in benefits for everything they do at our company.
Businesses on the First Coast. Call me, Travis Cummings, at 461-1800, and I'll make sure your employees are well taken care of.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, just after 6:30 right here on this Friday night, let's head to the farm. The Pac-12 as we know it, being ripped apart team by team, but it doesn't take away from the big one tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. He is Tim Brando, our weekly conversation, and the game is 5th-ranked UW against the Stanford Cardinal. Tim Brando, how you been?
I'm great, Rick. I'm enjoying the lovely Silicon Valley and ready to take in the farm. And after this, Stanford's headed to the ACC, so you'll be seeing more of them than me when they go to God's country to play beginning next year. But interesting game because Washington's coming off a clunker, their first real poor outing of the year. And, they got a quarterback that I think is still in the Heisman race. You're allowed a mulligan for a bad game in October, but not in November, So
yeah.
My guess is that Stanford will get the best that Michael Penix has to offer. But Washington's a little banged up in their secondary, too. So, hey, after what Stanford did with Colorado a few weeks ago, and at the time our game will be on, I believe our friends Fowler and Herbstreit will be doing UCLA and Colorado. God only knows what's going to happen on the West Coast when these teams of the Pac-12 play, because it's just been incredible, and the league top to bottom has been proven to be, I think, the best in the country so far this year.
And you called it last week with Utah, over USC. I don't think there's any question. Top to bottom, this has been the best conference in college football, and, sadly it is going away. Back to Michael Penix, man. His touchdown pass against Oregon a few weeks ago, absolutely threading the needle. Also, some folks around here, some Florida State fans, got pretty upset with that ESPN playoff predictor saying that if the 5 conferences run the table and go undefeated, it would be UW who would get the 4th spot, and it would not be Florida State.
Yeah, well, let me just say this, okay? The notion that all of these teams are going to stay undefeated is preposterous.
Thank you.
All right? I mean, there's way too many opportunities for carnage. And as you know, we talk about upsets happening in October, but there are always more of them in November than there are in October. And usually it's the rivalry weekends that do it. You know? I mean, we got the Civil War out here. We've got the Apple Cup out here. We've got so many games where, listen, Michigan is on the clock due for an upset? Okay, when are they going to have a clunker? And if they do, it's going to be backloaded because their toughest games with Penn State and Ohio State are yet to be played. And you know how I feel about Georgia. I think that that game at the cocktail party that I'm sure you're going to get to real soon.
Sure.
In our conversation, I mean, that's an upset alert game right there. And Oklahoma is on upset alert with me this week with Kansas. I think Kansas can beat them straight up. They got a sellout again. They got Daniels ready to start at quarterback. That makes a big difference for Lance Leipold's team. So this notion that teams that are undefeated are going to stay that way is just, in my mind, preposterous.
Yeah. Typically when you worry about stuff like this, and fans
right.
do, it ends up, playing out, and I got to believe that is going to be the case.
Yeah, and by the way, along the lines of the playoff predictor, I don't know what the hell ESPN pays for that service, but it's garbage. And it's revenue.
Well, what I loved about it is they had, and I know you saw, but they had the Big Ten 100%, and they had, if OU wins at 100%.
Yeah.
They have Georgia. If Georgia goes undefeated, they had them at 86%. I mean, Georgia's won 24 in a row and is a two-time defending national title. And if they go undefeated, they have an 86% chance of making the college football playoff.
Yeah, that's just that's paying homage to so-called strength of schedule, which we know was weak for them this year. But strength of schedule means nothing to the College Football Playoff Committee once we get to the latter stages of the season. Brand names mean more than strength of schedule. And Georgia's got the biggest brand of all right now.
Both teams coming off a bye right here in Jacksonville, Tim. Georgia remains number one. That's been 19 consecutive weeks. Florida, really thriving off a very emotional come-from-behind victory against South Carolina where they got it done a couple of times on fourth down. What do you make of this game here tomorrow in Jacksonville?
Well, I think that if we see the Mertz that we've seen the last week or two versus the Mertz that we saw at the beginning of the year, Florida can hang right there with them, okay? And I think that this is a Georgia team now that we know, and teams preparing for them know, is without Bowers at tight end. Someone else for Georgia has got to become a playmaker. Who's that someone else going to be? And to this stage, of course, Beck has not needed to have that additional playmaker in order to win games. And the Georgia defense, to some extent, has always had their back. I just don't think that they've had pressure points put on them. Even Kentucky, which I think was ballyhooed, and listen, I was guilty of it. I thought that they could give them a great game. I didn't think they'd upset them, but I thought they could give them a great game. Didn't. But the reason for that was no one, at the skill position level, that wide receiver was really going to put any pressure on the Georgia secondary. I think Florida's got enough guys that they can do that. I really do. And Mertz just seems so much more comfortable in Billy Napier's offense right now. And you know what? Napier is calling a better game now. I think that there are times when you're new to a gig in a place like Florida where sometimes maybe you can coach too carefully. I think that now he's enabling himself to be more daring in his play calling, and has paid great dividends in their most recent game. And I think a similar type of game, he's a great play caller. He's not Steve Spurrier, no one is, but he's really a play caller, and making sure that he's doing that again, I think, made him more comfortable in his position, and I think he's a better coach when he's a guy calling his own plays. So I give them a puncher's chance. I really do, of knocking off Georgia.
Tim, one thing that has always really stood out for me for champions is playing through adversity, and that includes coming from behind in the second half, even deep in the fourth quarter. And, Georgia hasn't done that, but that game at Auburn, that was about as tight as you could have asked for, and Georgia had the score there to win. And even their game with South Carolina at home pretty early in the season was a little hairy early on. So those tightly contested games, that would be my big worry for Georgia, but I think they've shown twice this year that that's not going to affect them.
Well, but with Bowers on the field, you felt confident that was an outfit. that out pitch is gone. Okay, and so listen, mulligans can be allowed in October, but you can't have them in November. And as I said, relative to Penix at quarterback, I think that he's probably going to rebound and have a much better game for us against Stanford tomorrow night. I think that the same here is true for Georgia, that they've got to find an out pitch, and Beck is going to have to respond in having someone he trusts, similar to the trust that you have of Bowers.
Yeah.
And who is that receiver going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Florida needs to identify that from a defensive standpoint if they hope to have a chance in the game. And as I said, I just don't think the distance between the top teams in any conference this year versus other teams in their league is as wide or vast as it's been in the past.
Yeah.
And that's the reasons why, I really do like this Florida team. And, Missouri is another team that you got to be concerned with, because whenever they play against you, you got to be aware that you got to score points to win.
Does anything change for Billy Napier when you're a 14.5-point underdog and this is a two-time defending champion? Everyone believes they're going to win. Do you go for it on fourth down when you normally wouldn't? Is there a trick play that he's had up his sleeve since August that you unleash tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah. He's played in big games and coached big games before. Those matchups that he had, and I know people there don't consider the Sun Belt in the same vein or same league, but let me tell you something. Those matchups that he had with App State when he was in the Sun Belt, coaching the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana in Lafayette, that was a cross that he had to bear. He stayed an extra year at Louisiana, because he wanted to get past that with App State, and he did. He's been in big games before, and of course, when he was at Alabama on the staff with Nick Saban, he's been in big games too. Trust me, he and Kirby know a lot about each other, and I'm sure that they both have, a little something in their hip pockets they're going to turn to. The difference here is I think that the coach that has nothing to lose is Billy Napier. Kirby's got it all to lose.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Hey, as we get ready to say goodbye, I was just handed this note. Brother Bino is already in Jacksonville for this game tomorrow at 3:30.
Wow. Florida's got material. But let me tell you something else about Bino, okay? Did you know when his father died, he actually took from the urn some of the ashes of his dad and spread them on the field at Stanford?
I did not know that.
Yes. Yes, his father was a big fan of Stanford as Bino was growing up. So that's something new. I just learned about him today. His biographer, John Lucas, who wrote the book on Bino, which is a marvelous book. If you've never read it, you need to check it out. But yes, Florida's got material. He'd be saying, there's nothing better than the cocktail party, whether Chris Schenkel was calling the game with Bud Wilkinson or Keith Jackson and Frank Broyles. Nothing like the cocktail party. And somebody tell the sideline reporter, when you play in Georgia, it's not behind the bushes. It's between the hedges.
We wrap as we do every week. It's time for the Tim Brando Fly in the Ointment game.
Well, there's always a fly in the ointment game that is on my mind, and without question, this week I've been sidetracked.
Ooh.
Yes, I was so concerned about the matchup that we've got today, going into tomorrow with Stanford, that I started thinking a little bit about other major matchups that were going to be taking place in the Pac-12. And I've got a fly in the ointment for you, and it's going to deal with the other game that's going to be opposite mine, because, they won't pick their own games. So I'm just going to pick it for you, okay? That matchup between UCLA, speaking of Bino, he could never say L. He could never pronounce the letter L. UCLA and their matchup with Colorado. I'm picking, in a major upset, the Buffaloes to take down the Bruins.
Wow. Okay. That'll be a lot of fun.
From the Pac-12, okay?
Look forward to it. He is Tim Brando. He's got a good one tomorrow. That'll be at 7 o'clock our time here in Jacksonville. Once that Gator game against the Dogs comes to an end, you can go to FS1 at 7 p.m. It's 5th-ranked Washington playing on the road at Stanford. Timmy B, always a pleasure, sir. Have a great call. We'll talk soon.
We'll see you, Rick.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And, Georgia was down 14-3 at half at home against South Carolina. Came from behind, right? 2020 was that game at Auburn before they put up a touchdown to win it 27-20. So I don't think that is a factor. If they didn't have that going for them, I would be a little bit more concerned. But they've proven, all right? And championship teams are forced to prove that year in, year out. All right, we got much more to do. Sean Merriman is going to join us in a little bit. He's promoting some big fights that are coming up right around the corner. Want to talk to him about that, plus get his opinion on what he has seen from the Jaguars 7 games in. Much more on Jacksonville as well. More on that cocktail party. Got a little bit coming up on Florida State and Wake Forest. Everything right here as we go into the night.
From Duval to the world.
All communication lines are clear.
Download the 1010XL apps for free on Apple and Android devices and listen wherever life takes you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, it's a great time to buy a luxury Cadillac.
2024 XT5s and XT6s.
CT4s and CT5s.
With 2.9% financing for 36 months.
And a $1,500 discount when you finance through Cadillac Financial on XT5s and XT6s.
It's a great time to get the luxury Cadillac you've been wanting.
And we've got a huge selection of certified pre-owned Cadillacs that are like brand new.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 27, 1984, Washington State University's running back Reuben Mays sets a collegiate football record of 357 rushing yards in one game.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is holding their annual Bumps and Bruises clinics every Saturday morning through early November. These injury evaluations are absolutely free and open to every school and athletic program. So see us this Saturday morning at 3 North Florida locations from 9 to 10. The Brooks Center for Sports Therapy inside the YMCA. Preferred Physical Therapy, Fleming Island. And at Atlas Physical Therapy in St. Johns County.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. More than qualified to handle your roof. Call J&M and we'll show you the proof. Check with our customers and they all say only one way to go, the J&M way.
We take pride in doing quality work at a fair price. And you can finance your new roof for as low as $139 per month. J&M Roofing, under the umbrella. Call 904-337-0509.
License number CCC 1331951. Jags fans, Gate is offering the ultimate prize this season. A chance for you and 3 friends to meet Trevor Lawrence. With the My Gate Rewards Gatorade Club, for every 5 Gatorade products you buy, you'll enter for a chance to win. See store for details. Gate, your hometown convenience store.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in 295.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we appreciate Tim Brando. He joins us each and every week. Good stuff there. Enjoy that game tomorrow that he has. That'll be right after Florida and Georgia, or Georgia, Florida, which, frankly, I prefer. Tonight's show brought to you by Patriot Roofing Services. They specialize in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights, 10-year workmanship warranty. Financing is available. Discounts for military and senior citizens. No subcontractors. So, it's just you and my buddy Mark Tizzolo, right? Just set up an appointment today, 982-4052. Or better yet, check them out online, Patriot Roofing. Okay? A brand new roof for your business, for your home, plus repairs. Patriot Roofing. Check them out online. Let's get to Doug Peterson. Today, all sorts of interesting stuff. I mean, Devon Hamilton's been cleared. Is he going to go? The latest on the hamstrings with Cisco and Campbell. Let's take you back to a few hours ago. Doug Peterson met the Jacksonville press to talk about his team and his team's injuries.
Zay is still working through the knee injury. Don't expect him Sunday. Just again, hopefully this week, next week with the bye, and we'll see where he's at after that. Devon's trending well, and he's practiced full this week. We'll get another good day today, and then we'll see. We'll see how he feels and where he's at. And there's a good chance, that he could be active for this game. So we'll just see how he does through today. Walker, same thing. We'll get through today. He's had a good week. No setbacks, so we'll see where he's at and make a decision there. Trevor's been good, obviously. He got a good work in yesterday and feels good. Tyson and Andre Cisco will both practice today. We'll see where they're at the end of the day. Make a decision on both of those guys, but trending in the right direction.
I've said this all week, but I'm going to say it for the last time. The way that I think when it comes to Devon Hamilton and it comes to Walker Little, and you get the feeling there's a chance on both, especially Hamilton. I'm like, no. I'm like, just keep him out another week, and then you have a bye. It gives you 2 more weeks. And much of that is because they've won 4 in a row. If this team was 1-3 or 2-2, then maybe you force them back a little bit sooner. But the way that I think, and I think a lot of you out there listening, I think you think that way as well. Am I wrong? But coaches, Coach is all about the next game. And coach is about winning on Sunday. So, boy, I would hate to bet on it. But right now, man, that's like 50, a smidge over 50 and then a smidge under 50 as to whether or not that would, in fact, be the case when it comes to Devon Hamilton. All right, we have much more on injuries coming up in our second hour. All right, we're also going to hear from Sean Merriman right at the top. We'll talk to the Jaguars about Sean. He's also got some fights coming in, so we want to spend a couple of minutes with Sean Merriman on that. It's great to have you with us. Alongside J.J. LaSalva, my name is Rick Ballou. This is Into the Night.
Partners.
I don't need anybody else. I work alone.
Friends.
We got bigger problems than your fragile ego.
Family.
These are imposters!
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Seize them!
They are the morning team known as The Drill.
Yeah.
On 1010XL.
Sawgrass Asset Management loves this time of year when two decorated teams meet in the world of college football. Every year, we relive the rivalry with great moments from both sides of the big game thanks to Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. A Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community. That's Sawgrass Asset Management. Log on to saw-grass.com to find out more. Here's Linda Beaver.
Are you afraid to buy your next car? Well, have no fear because Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet offer Beaver's not-so-scary pricing. There's no monsters popping up in your rearview mirror with Beaver's peace of mind warranties. Check out thousands of vehicles for sale online and get answers to all your questions with no tricks and all the treats. I promise our team will take away all those fears. Just come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for Beaver's not-so-scary pricing.
Mia here, and my friends at Brackish Vodka have some exciting news. They've just introduced 2 incredible new flavors that are sure to elevate your experience. Get ready to meet espresso and elderflower. If you're looking for something a bit more floral with a hint of honey, like St. Germain but with a vodka twist, then elderflower is your go-to choice. It's elegance in a bottle, a sip of sophistication. Drink like a local and drink Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by November 2nd.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill is your spot to be for all your football needs. Full liquor bar, 8 pool tables, darts, and shuffleboard. Weekend specials include happy hour all day Friday to $3 seltzer Saturdays, along with wing and pitcher specials on Sunday. Watching the Jag game, $19 domestic buckets on game day. There isn't a better place to play pool, have a beer, and just kick back. Perfect Rag Billiards on Edgewood and Murray Hill. The best place in Jacks to watch sports.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Football season means time on the couch and plenty of big games on the TV. Well, Florida Home AC knows you might be hitting the thermostat every time your team goes for the win. With family and friends hanging out for 4 quarters or more, The heating and AC unit will be working overtime. Stay cool with Florida Home AC. A simple phone call to 777-4300 and make sure your unit is primed for the fall when temps change constantly. Order a tune-up and enjoy the season. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Mia here. If you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So why are you passing up on cashing winners every weekend? MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs, anytime, anywhere, so you can turn that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, MLB playoffs, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. What better week than the cocktail party ahead, as well as the Jags traveling to face the Steelers on Sunday. Sign up at MyBookie, use promo code 1010XL, and claim your deposit match, redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code 1010XL to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Oh, he is Sean Merriman. He is a busy man. We always love our conversations with him because he's always pushing forward. He's always got something under the sleeve. And once again, we've got more fights on the horizon. The Lights Out 12 Extreme Fighting. It's coming up on Saturday, November 18th, which will be here. Before you know it, out at Thunder Studios. Let's bring him in right now. The return of Sean Merriman. Sean, always a pleasure. How you been?
Hey, what's up, my man? How's it going?
Man, everything's good. There's been really a lot of good fights lately. I mean, all different types of varieties, but I know we spoke with you recently, your last promotion. You got another big one that's coming up here in about 3 weekends.
Yeah, we got a huge one actually coming up. Lights Out Extreme Fighting 12 will be in Long Beach. November 18th, man. November 18th will be live on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV. So if you guys don't have Fubo, get it. I think I got about 2 or 3 guys that's leaving from this card straight to the UFC. We're pretty stacked up. And, it's been fun for me, man, because, I've been around this sport for 17 years. Obviously, the UFC has got me. I went to my first fight in 2005 and was hooked. So we have the next up-and-coming superstars. So we want to give these guys a chance, let the fans, the audience see them before they become big time, and they can check us out on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV.
Coming up Saturday night, November 18th on Fubo Sports. Tell us about the card a little bit. You said some up-and-comers.
Yeah, we have actually Alba Morales is fighting on this card. He had a short stint there in the UFC. He'll be one to go back to the UFC at some point. He's just 30 or 31 years old. He'll have another opportunity. We have A.J. Hodgkins, man, who played linebacker at Oregon. You guys got to watch out for this. He's an up-and-comer, and I think it's going to be a star. I don't know how long I'm going to be to keep him because I'm sure Dana and those guys are looking at him. But, Victor Rosas, another one, Ramos, who is coming out of Nick and Nate Diaz camp. Nick and Nate Diaz will be at the fight as well, or one of them will. Tony Ferguson's guy, Tommy Aaron. Tony will be at the fight. So we're pretty stacked up, man. This will be a fun card.
Sean Merriman, our guest. How was the early return here? How's this being received, and is there any chance you head to our state?
Yeah, I'm working on it, man. I mean, there's a lot of great fighters out there with you guys, and my goal is to get out there and get them an opportunity. It's not a whole lot of big promotions as well, so it'll be great to come out there and set up. There's 3 gyms I can name off the top of my head that are big that need to get some fights.
Yeah. Sean Merriman talking with us again. He's the promoter. Lights Out 12 coming up just a couple of Saturday nights. That'll be Saturday, November 18th at Thunder Studios. So is this, are they 5-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds? How's it going to be again, Sean, as far as the rules?
Yeah, these will be mostly 5 3-minute rounds. I think our championship fight or something maybe has, the 5-minute rounds. But for the most part, we're right on course, man. I actually just finished sparring right now. I went 3 rounds and I can't move.
Really?
So, I don't know how these guys go to, the 3 5-minute rounds. I am completely smoked, but it's just a different sport, man. I think in football, having speed, power, explosion, a lot of these guys, it's a stop and go movement, and then there you have to be calm and you have to be relaxed and just fight easily.
Yeah, I used to compare hockey to, when I grew up playing hockey, you could be out there on a shift for 45 seconds a minute and it's a full sprint. As you know, the average football play may last 6 seconds, but what's it like to spar for that long? I can only imagine just how physically fit you must be.
It is. You've never been so humbled before in your life, right? You get in there, you're bigger and stronger than the guy, and somehow this little guy just lasting all day long, and then he takes you to the ground, and you're 60 pounds heavier than he is, and that's how I learned the sport, man. And I think that a lot of former athletes, when they retire, they're getting more into combat sports. You see Frank Gore and Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, Greg Hardy. There's a ton of guys that's making this transition right now, and I think it's going to be a wave here in the next 12 to 24 months.
Yeah, we've seen some rolling the town. Austin Lane fought here. Unfortunately, it was a disqualification early on, the last time the UFC came through. Talking with Sean Merriman, Lights Out 12, coming up in just a couple of weekends. We'll promote that again before we say goodbye. And just a couple of quick ones on the Jags. They're playing some really good football. They're 5-2. What have you seen that you like out of this team?
Man, they are looking really, really good right now. But I'm not surprised, man. With them, they've always been primed to take the next step. But what I'm seeing now is like stars are rising. And I'm outside of Trevor Lawrence. He's been playing great. The funniest clip I love, and it kind of shows me his personality, when he got hit and he told the guy, so what, he doesn't care. I mean, that's the attitude that they have down there now. Josh Allen, man, when he got drafted, I got a chance to talk to him. He told me I was one of his favorite players growing up. And, whenever somebody says I was one of their favorite players growing up, I'm like, okay, that guy has a different mentality than everybody else. And I mean, he's up for a contract, I believe, too, right? He's contract coming up. He's going to get a big contract. He's well more than deserving of it. But they have a really, really good chance, man, at beating the Steelers. And I think they will. I think they'll beat the Steelers. The Steelers not that great in offense. I think they are 30th or 31st on offense. And with that defense that Jacksonville has, man, I think they're going to pin their ears back and go.
How hard is it to play knowing that your contract is there for the better? And obviously you always have concerns about injuries and everything else that could take place. I mean, everything that could happen, unfortunately, is bad outside of what you actually do that's on the field. How much of a concern is that?
It's actually easier, right? Because you're at the tail end of that thing where you're going to get a big contract or a real big contract, right? That's how the name of the game goes now. And a guy like Josh Allen, he has nothing to worry about. He has to pin his ears back and play freely like he has been a whole entire season. And I he has 6-7 sacks or something like that on the year already, and I think that he'll touch that double-digit plus again. And so the money's going to roll in. When you at that position especially, you just have to continue to go out and make plays. It's not like a quarterback, right, where interception here or bad play here, a bad game here. Like guys like Josh Allen can go out there and just play freely and do his thing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, one general question, then we'll promote it again, and we appreciate it as always, Sean Merriman, our guest. It feels like this year we have had more NFL players attacking the media, former NFL players who are now part of the media attacking current NFL players. What do you make of all this?
It's a different time, right? Because social media, it can be a great thing or it can be a terrible thing. And sometimes if you're in your feelings or you're emotional at that point in time, it's only a click of a button now to do something stupid, right? It's a reason why they give you 10, 15 minutes after a game to cool off so you don't say anything crazy, right, before the media comes in. Now it's like, okay, well, if you see a reporter, if you see somebody in the media say something about you, you can comment on social media, and right after you press send, you're sitting back like, damn, why did I do that, right? the situation with Steve Smith and Jerry Jeudy. I mean, those type of things shouldn't really happen because, critiquing players is what broadcasters do, and it's never really been personal in the past. I feel like now, and I don't know what the cause that is, it's been more personal shots. Rodney Harrison, personal shot towards Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And it's personal shots. I think that the mentality has changed a little bit, and I don't know exactly where that comes from.
That's well said, Sean. It really is. All right, let's sell some fights here. Let's sell. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be live on Fubo coming up on the November 18th, Saturday, November 18th. Tell us about it once again, Sean.
Yep, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 12. You don't want to miss this one. We have the next up-and-coming superstars November 18th, live on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. You guys don't want to miss this one. I know the Diaz brothers will be there. Tony Ferguson will be there. But these next up-and-coming superstars, man, you want to watch them before they have a big name in this sport.
Hey, if the Diaz brothers are there, man, keep your head on the swivel.
I don't have to worry about them. It's the fans that they got to worry about. We're cool. We're cool. It's everybody else we need to worry about.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Sean, always a pleasure. Thank you.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
There he goes. Sean Merriman. My goodness, man. The Diaz brothers. Nate, I mean, especially Nate. Yeah, he's the type of guy, checking out groceries through Publix, whatever, if you eyed him wrong. You just don't know. I frankly kind of miss him because he was such a great competitor whenever he fought. He didn't always win, but he was a great competitor. I'm a big fan of these folks that are moving on, and we had Jorge Masvidal with us in here recently. We've talked with Sean Merriman about this now a couple of times. Obviously, we had Ken Shamrock, and his event is going on right now. Okay, it started about an hour and 15 minutes ago. Tonight, Ken Shamrock, and we had him in studio probably 3 weeks ago. He's got his bare-knuckle boxing that is going on at UNF. You can get all the details. I mean, I would imagine, I think he told me there were 12 fights. And I'm sure you can still get tickets. It's valorbk.com.
It's probably going all night.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this one, and that's why I asked, you're doing 3 minutes. I know championships are 5 minutes, but if it seems like things are changing here a little bit. And a few weeks ago when I was talking to Ken about it, I was like, well, what type of cage do you have, this and that? And he looks and he goes, bro, there's no cage. There's no clutching. There's no grabbing. There's no using your lower body. There's no taking anyone down on the mat. We're going back to old school, bare knuckle fighting, trading. That's it. These guys at UNF tonight are standing up, delivering blows. And, we've been doing our Friday shows 3 to 6. We had a high school football game last night, a big win, obviously, by Bowls. But if this had been one of our 3 to 6 shows, I was going to slide on over and see that tonight at UNF. But no way. I'd rather talk trash here behind the mic. There's no way I want to get out there and trade blows with anyone. But hey, that is the latest. Sean Merriman, good stuff. We'll promote that again a couple of more times before that particular card coming up on November 18th. Are you going to watch tomorrow night's fight?
The
Fury
Fury and no.
Nagano?
First of all, I think it's in the afternoon because it's in Saudi.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Yeah.
And no, it's a joke fight. It's a guy who's never boxed in his life against the best heavyweight boxer in the world. Yeah, it's a payday for both. I get why they're doing it, just to make tens of millions of dollars, but. No, I won't be watching. I hate those kind of fights.
I don't like the fights over there. Even last week we had those two really highly anticipated fights. Yeah, Shemaev, a winner, may have broken his wrist. I didn't go back and reread it. Did they say it was a broken wrist?
I'm not sure. But yeah, Saudi throws money at these fights, man. Like that's basically the new Vegas. They have a lot more money than pretty much everyone, and Dana and Top Rank and Eddie Hearn, all the boxing promoters and UFC promoters, they don't have a problem taking it. So
what do you think,
that's where all
France,
the big fights are now.
What do you think his biggest payday was in the UFC?
Ngannou, I don't know, probably a couple mil.
Oh, you think he made that much?
Oh,
Okay.
maybe. I thought that was pretty standard,
I don't know.
but for like a guy headlining a pay-per-view, but
because he had to be one of the big. I mean, outside of Conor McGregor, and maybe Bones.
He's top 10 most popular guy right now for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks about the
But
UFC.
some of these
is
guys
they have
fight
to,
for nothing.
Exactly. Is a lot of these big names even have to leave. I just saw a headline. Our boy Jorge Masvidal, friend of the show, of course. He's going to be fighting in a boxing match coming up next year.
Well, I asked him if he'd fight one of the Pauls.
Yeah.
And he had the greatest answer. He said, not one of those wants a piece of me.
Which is BS because the
but
Paul brothers will smash. They beat the brakes off of every MMA fighter. Like our boy Nate Diaz just lost to one of the Pauls. I don't know which one.
Right, no doubt. But if you're Jorge Masvidal and you grew up fighting in the streets of Miami and someone's going to offer you that amount of cash with gloves, you absolutely take that fight.
And, yeah, it's like the Paul guy, he kind of acts like, hey, these are real fight. Look, I'm beating real fighters. And it's like, no, you're not. You're beating people that do a completely different sport.
You think we'll ever see him take on
a real
legitimate heavyweight? Legitimate one now. And, do we have a legitimate one when, the Furies are starting to get up there a little bit? Who's a wild? Do you think we'd ever see a Devontae Wilder?
First Jake Paul, Deontay Wilder might literally kill this guy in the ring. I would love to see that. Oh, my God. I would pay double a pay-per-view price just to see that one-round knockout.
But the popularity of the UFC, and I tell this story often, I think it was the Deflategate Super Bowl. I think we were in Radio Row in Phoenix. I may be wrong. I did a lot of it. Just seemed like Radio Row isn't what it used to be. Now I think the Combine's a much bigger deal than Radio Row. It's because Radio Row, everyone's pimping a product. You want to sit down and talk to a guy, but he's going to spend.
Right.
If you get 10 minutes, he's going to spend 6 minutes telling you how great Snickers is, how it's the greatest candy bar, and it's. Kids grow up, hey, kids, eat Snickers. It's good for you. You'll be like me.
I forgot to tell you about Tampax, Rick.
But Conor McGregor was there, and there were hundreds of members of the media trying to get on him. Trying to get. All of a sudden, I look to my left. There's a heavyweight champion of the world in Wilder, and there was no one around. I sat down and did it wasn't live. It was like a taped interview. But I sat down for like 10, 12 minutes and talked to him about everything. So, we really saw the explosion of the UFC then, and boxing got a little less popular.
When he got his championship belt, his first one, he was not popular. Like you said, nobody knew him until he really fought Fury.
No.
And now everybody knows him.
And then that one fight that I saw when he fought Fury, when he came in like a gladiator, he lost like 15 pounds.
And then he blamed the outfit on the loss. He was like, oh, my God, it was too heavy.
Yeah, he lost too much weight.
Hilarious.
Right before the start of the fight.
One of the greatest excuses in combat history.
Yeah, boxing, for tough guys, they have incredible excuses.
Oh, my God. They absolutely, man.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. All right, let's...
very thin-skinned guys.
Let's come back, and it's time to make our picks. And, I don't know. Things are not good around here. Okay? The Jaguars are playing well. Florida State is playing well. I'm not playing well. JJ's not playing well. I went 4-6 last week, which is just a complete, absolute embarrassment. Okay? Not only to me, but to my entire family. All right? JJ did much better. He went 5-5. So season totals, I got Ballou at 41-29, and I got you at 38-32.
Yeah, and just to remind our listeners, these are not against the spread.
No.
These are just straight up winners and losers.
This is by far the worst it's ever been, but I think we've had tough games. And
oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, we got some really tough games this week, particularly in the NFL. So when we come back, we have Tennessee, Kentucky. We have Oregon, Utah. We have Virginia the U. We have Florida State, Wake Forest. We have Georgia, Florida in the NFL. You ready for these top matchups? Well, how does Atlanta at Tennessee sound? Okay. How does New Orleans at Indianapolis?
I mean, those are the hard games
sound?
to pick, though.
There's no doubt. Ryan Tannehill out, right? Indy, it feels like Indy every week something's wrong there, but they just keep fighting. The Texans at the Panthers, both teams coming off a bye. Cincinnati at San Francisco. I want to say that was my Super Bowl preview. I'm trying to think if I took San Fran or Philly. I know I picked Cincinnati to win the Super Bowl this year, but I think these were the two teams that I had for this year's Super Bowl. When I come back, I'll let you know.
Yeah, Bengals-Niners.
Yeah.
Bengals beating the Niners.
There you go. And Jags at Pittsburgh. So those are our games. We'll come back. We'll make our weekly picks. You want to join the conversation? 641-1010. Best way for you to get on in. That's on our text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
What are the many ways to experience 1010XL?
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at 1010XL.
Unleash automotive excellence at Osteen Volkswagen of Jacksonville. Osteen Volkswagen is not just about cars, it's 27 years of family-owned operation and community. Visit Osteen Volkswagen today on Phillips Highway and at OsteenVW.com.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Life's not complete without music. Friday, November 10th, 8 p.m. at Players Grill Mandarin, Julia Gulia takes the stage with unforgettable performances from the 90s, 2000s, and originals. It's not your average cover band. Players Grill Mandarin, where the neighborhood meets.
Bold City Brewery, established in 2008, the oldest craft brewery in Jacksonville, and proud to celebrate 15 years of brewing great beers in Duval. With 2 locations serving delicious beers, seltzers, and ciders produced in-house, 1 location located in downtown Jacksonville, and the production facility and restaurant located off of Roselle Street in Riverside. Bold City Brewery, striving to have something for everyone and keeping the tradition of brewing great beers and serving fantastic food in Jacksonville. Log on and taste the craft at boldcitybrewery.com.
If you weren't on the radio, I wouldn't have a radio.
When you hear a great guest on 1010XL, tell your friends they can catch the replay on demand.
It's all at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Win cash prizes at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, an equal opportunity employer.
Are spooky plumbing problems haunting your home this Halloween? Don't be scared. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your ghost-busting plumbing heroes.
Hi there, I'm Brian, your friendly plumber. Is your toilet making ghostly groans, or is your sink dripping like a vampire's fangs?
Don't let plumbing problems give you the heebie-jeebies. Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 and chase those spooky issues away.
Duck Duck Rooter, because even plumbing nightmares deserve a happy ending. Quacktastic service guaranteed.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight?
We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools. One bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carline for QC Kinetics. The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. You've got to go see QC Kinetics. You can call to set up a free consultation at Mandarin or Ponte Vedra locations at 904-274-5522. Again, 274-5522. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, shoulders, back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Look, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Again, give them a call, 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah, I've been looking at this game from every possible way, and Pittsburgh is not a good football team. They are not. Defensively, they're 28th against the rush. They allow 142.3 yards a game. Love to say that this is one of those, 30 carry games for Jacksonville. Can you get 18 from ETN? Can you get 5 or 6 from Trevor? Who else is going to give you it? Tank's averaging 2.5 a game. Just hasn't worked with him so much. Some people believe Dearness Johnson could be moved by the trade deadline next week. It seems like every week they try 1, if not 2 counters. Calvin Ridley, Jamal Agnew, Christian Kirk have all run the ball in a reverse. It just feels like this is the week that they really should be able to settle in. Again, ETN leads the NFL in carries and in touches. You'd like to slow that down just a little bit. They're also one of the league leaders, Pittsburgh is, in man defense. They do it 49% of the time. So is this the week where finally Calvin Ridley gets an opportunity, a little isolation there, a little one-on-one, an opportunity for him to make a big play? Of course, you need that offensive line to do its part and pass protect for Trevor Lawrence. Feels like Trevor's been doing his part, but it hasn't necessarily been deep ball, right? It's been kind of take what the defense gives you. And Ridley's been 5 receptions in his last 2 weeks, including 1 last week. Only 35 yards. I'd like to say that he's going to have a breakout game coming up on Sunday. My biggest concern for Jacksonville continues to be their third down offense. They're 27th in pro football, and that's tough to believe considering they're 5-2. 34% is what they're hitting. You have to improve on that. You're going to win big games once you get later in the year, once you certainly get to the playoffs in January. You have got to be better than 32 for 94. So And there's no – I tell you what, I would rather be looking for things offensively to improve than I would defensively. I think you've gotten what you expect out of this defense. Now, right now in Pittsburgh, on talk radio there, they're saying, hey, the Jags are worst against the pass in the NFL. They've given up nearly 2,000 yards already. They can't get to the quarterback. Jacksonville has a very good rush defense, and I think that's skewed a little bit because of no one has thrown the ball more than Jaguar opponents, especially the last 4 weeks. Look at those quarterback numbers, including Derek Carr, 55 attempts a week ago last night. But I would much rather, if you need something to improve, it's the offense. I think the defense is giving you what you expect. And the best thing that you can get out of this defense is you just got back Lloyd. You just got back Smoot. You're going to get back Hamilton. And hopefully you're going to get back to health maybe as early as Sunday as Campbell and Cisco, right? And I also think Gregory Jr. can help them later in the year. He's not going to play. Of course, he's on the IR. Who's the other? Let's roll into our picks here. But who's the other that I did see that is out for this game as well? It is Gregory Jr. with his hamstring. He is out Sunday along with Zay Jones.
Now, the Otterson Wealth Advisors Risk-Reward Picks of the Week. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise.
All right, my goals this week is to get back on the winning ways. After a 4-6 a week ago, JJ evened things up at 5. Season totals, Ballou 41-29, 38-32 is JJ LaSelva. We're going to start right off. The winner always goes first, and we go each and every. You ever notice that in everything, when you're a winner, you go last? You win the coin toss, you defer. Baseball, you have the home field. In golf, though, it's no. In golf, it's I'm first off the tee.
Is that an advantage?
I would think it's not.
So
but
maybe
who
it's
am I as a
like,
weekend hack to question what they've been doing for generations?
Well, maybe it's meant to not be an advantage. Maybe it's meant to even the things out. I'm not sure.
Nah, there's something about. I think my guess is it's something about the pace of play, right? You get the
you don't
birdie.
Wanna wait.
Yeah, you get the birdie. The other guy next to you has the par. You're first off the tee.
You're feeling it.
On
Your
that next
juices
hole.
are flowing.
It is interesting, though.
Yeah, I never
thought
about that.
You know where else we see that a little bit more are these shootouts in the NHL. You would think that you would always go last. A lot of times, teams who win it elect to go first. It's a crazy world, people. I tell you. Tennessee at Kentucky. I hate to do this. I mean, this is one of these games where I'm just hoping we're going to root against them, but I'm going to pick them. Give me the Vols.
Yeah, I like the Vols in this one. I'm not an expert on Kentucky, but I saw them get blasted the last couple games.
All right, so we both are going to take Tennessee. Oregon visits Utah.
I'm going with the Ducks.
I'm going to take Utah here at home. See, Bo Nix in this game. The most college football starts of anyone in the history of the game. I mean, this guy
COVID year, bro. There's guys now that play like 6-7 seasons.
Well, he's got like 53 or 50, I think he's got like 56 career starts. It's like,
and he still hasn't beaten a ranked opponent.
Oh man! All right, so you're gonna take the Ducks.
Yes.
All right, I'll take Utah. Virginia goes to Miami. Remember, Virginia last week knocked off North Carolina. I'm gonna take the U.
Yeah, it makes me nervous just because they're coming off a massive win, unexpected win. But I think the Hurricanes are just, excuse me, too talented for Virginia.
Florida State goes to Wake Forest.
FSU, landslide.
You know, they're really, as always, they're not telling us who's injured. And they're not telling us who's going to play. And that's well within their right. Although I think at some point college football is going to get involved because of gambling and say you've got to produce an injury report. My only explanation out of that would be the NHL can do whatever they want. And, you know, the NBA can't. Obviously, the NFL cannot. But for one reason or another, they allow this in the NHL. I just think too much money is going to be involved, and sooner or later you'll see this be forced in college football. But it looks like Johnny Wilson is not playing. It looks like 2 of their 3 linebackers are really banged up, including Bethune and Lundy. We'll see if they can go. Looks like a couple of guys on that offensive line are laboring, including Scott and Harris. So we shall see. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who is going to be able to give it a go for Florida State. Remember, they've lost 3 in a row. Mike Norvell has never beaten Wake Forest.
Wow.
Georgia, Florida, I'm going to take the Dogs.
I'm assuming you picked Florida State last game.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I'm going with Georgia as well. I think they cover the 14.5.
Yeah, and, I feel this way. I feel it weekly, but I certainly feel it in a rivalry. I can see if you're a Gator taking plus 14.5, but if you're Georgia, man, why would you spend money and lay that? Because when
just enjoy the game.
Yeah, when push comes to shove, man, if you win by a field goal, you win by a touchdown, you won. And now you've won 25 in a row. And, you're still number 1 in America. But if you have a couple hundred beans on it and you don't cover, then, it leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. I've never understood that side of it. Betting on your team, laying points on your team. Let's shift our attention to the National Football League, where I think we have the hardest week to pick straight up in the history of pro football, okay? Because I think combined we have about 7 wins in our first 3 games. Let's start things off with Atlanta visiting Tennessee. Actually, Atlanta's won 4 games.
Record
somehow.
Yeah,
I watched them last week against Tampa Bay, and they actually played some pretty good football. This game is in Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill is not going to play. You are up. Who you going with?
I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yeah, I am too.
Begrudgingly.
I already had it circled. Next up are the Saints and the Colts. The Colts are actually a real gutty team. They are, and they're at home here. You know what? Everything all week long has told me to play Indianapolis. But for some reason, I'm going to go against that. I think the Saints wake up here and get it done offensively. I'm going to take the road team again. Give me New Orleans in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I like the Saints too. I don't like what I've seen from Gardner Minshew this season. I'm going with the Saints. It's a dome. Same thing. Home game.
Do you know this year's World Series, both games are in a dome?
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Arizona's
Arizona's is a retractable roof, which
That's
I believe Texas might be as well.
Yeah, Arlington and out in
this is gonna be a weird World Series because we're not gonna see any coats in the crowd. No frozen fans whatsoever. It's been a while, I think.
I'm trying to remember the last time we had something like that.
I mean, Atlanta, Houston, but even at that time of year in Atlanta, it was cold.
Right. How about Atlanta, Minnesota? That was indoors.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? That's probably the last one I could think. Miami was in a few.
Yeah,
they played New York.
Exactly.
Yeah, they played Arizona. No. New York played Arizona, right?
Yeah, 2003 was when the Marlins played the Yankees, and then 1997 was when the Marlins played the Indians. Oh, am I allowed to say that? Excuse me.
No. You're not. And you're not allowed to say the Florida Marlins either. They're now the Miami Marlins.
The Miami Marlins, excuse me.
Texans and Panthers are both coming off a bye. Whose pick is it? I think it's yours.
Yes, it is. I'm going with the team who has wins as opposed to the team who has no wins. Let's go with the Texans. Rookie quarterback battle on this one.
I know. Boy, Houston looks so good here. They really did. They look so good. I got to stay with Houston as well. I know that ain't excited, but I got to do with what I got to do. Cincinnati and San Francisco. My gosh. Can the 49ers really lose 3 in a row? And we don't know what's happening with Brock Purdy. Here's what I'm going to do. We've seen this line drop so much. Everyone is betting on Cincinnati. I'm going to go against the public. I'm going to take San Francisco at home.
I like the Bengals to win, regardless of quarterback.
And we wrap it up. JJ goes first. It is the Jaguars at the Steelers.
I don't understand this line. I think the Jags should be favored by, what is it now? I think
2.5.
Okay, then I guess I'm not too far off. I was about to say 3. I'm rolling with the Jags.
Give the latest look here, and, actually it's down to 2. We're getting a little bit of Pittsburgh money that is rolling in. I agree with you. I am going to take Jacksonville as well. So we both like Tennessee at Kentucky. JJ is going to take Oregon. I'll take Utah at home. We both like the U against Virginia. We both like Florida State at Wake. We both like Georgia here in Jacksonville against Florida. In the NFL, both like Atlanta and Nashville. We both like New Orleans and Indy. Did I say that one correct? Yeah, you went against Minshew. Okay. We both like Houston in Carolina. JJ's going to take Cincinnati on the road. I'm going to take San Francisco at home. We both like the Jags in Pittsburgh. So let me get this straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of my 10 picks this week are road teams.
Notice that. But still a lot of road favorites this week. But that's upset city, man.
7 are, and 8 and 9 I really considered. I really considered picking Cincinnati over San Francisco. I mean, I would not bet that with anyone's money. And the one that I just really don't have a feel for here is Oregon-Utah.
Yeah, Oregon, the road team.
I'm going to watch that game. That'll be
3:30.
At 3:30. Yeah, that'll be up against, obviously, Georgia-Florida. But in my bar, I'll have them both on. So look forward to watching that game. Season totals are as follows. Ballou, 41-29, and JJ is 38-32. All right, let's come back. Let's put our final touches on this one. Get you ready for Hacker Nation, who will join you at 8 o'clock. Still want to get a comment in? You can. 641-1010. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Josie, Matt, Leon, and Mia.
Like John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Something like that.
Who do you think you are, the Beatles?
XL Prime Time.
Let's just call this what it is.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Mind if we join the Lonely Hearts Club?
On 1010XL.
Key Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 on new Buicks to combine big savings with a low APR to fit any budget. Like 1.9% APR financing for 36 months, 4.1% for 60 months, or 5.04% for up to 72 months. Also, right now, enjoy no payment on new Buicks until 2024. Whenever you buy a brand new Key Buick GMC, it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Now you can enjoy Brackish Vodka at both Jack's Spice locations, in Jack's Beach and in St. John's.
5-Star Pizza delivers a symphony of flavors for an extraordinary artisanal experience.
Dude, come on, it's a pizza.
Well, have you seen their Piezilla? It barely fits through the doorway. Call 5-Star Pizza now and cry out for a Piezilla!
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hot dogs and cool gators.
And welcome to Jacksonville for Florida, Georgia.
1010XL's Florida, Georgia Talk is brought to you by Ackerman Urology and Cancer Center and Kingfish Pest Control.
This is the biggest cocktail party in the world for a reason.
Prepare for the return of Valor Bare Knuckle 2, the true bare knuckle boxing platform, as they step back into the limelight for an exciting night of combat sports. Founded by legendary MMA fighter Ken Shamrock. Tonight at 7 at UNF Arena. Get your tickets today at ValorBK.com or at the UNF Arena box office. Valor Bare Knuckle 2. Tonight, live at UNF Arena.
This is Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
Fast Twitch, an energy drink from Gatorade in 6 different flavors, including strawberry watermelon, cool blue, and tropical mango. And available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Start fast with Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade.
On-the-go energy from Gatorade. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie.
When I say famous, what comes to mind? Celebrities? Athletes? What about your vehicle maintenance? Oh, okay, auto repair. Exactly. Now, when you need fast and reliable care for your ride, stop in to a Famous Automotive or Famous Quick Lube with 20 locations around town, providing honest automotive service at your convenience 7 days a week. They also offer fleet accounts for your business. Sign up anytime at Famous Automotive and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
If your lawn is not as green as you'd like, it's time to go orange by calling Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. Frank Frangie here. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. With the Orange Shield Protection Plan for your home or office, you can relax knowing Orange Environmental will handle pest control, termite control, and mosquito control. Orange Environmental has been giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. Call them today at 272-3284.
Pastor Joby Martin here with the Church of 1122. We are honored once again to partner with the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for the Great Futures Weekend, which includes golf and Mackenzie's 5K run at the esteemed TPC Stadium course. Help us continue to honor Mackenzie Wilson's legacy. That's Friday and Saturday, November 17th and 18th. You can golf or you can run. It'll be a great time. Additional info at MackenzieRun.org. Proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
And there's still a few days remaining here in the month of October. Some pretty incredible incentives right now over at Key Buick GMC. So check them out. I know football is here, but if you want to hit out early, go ahead and do so. Love my Key Sierra, which is a GMC, and the GF has as well, the Key Buick Enclave. Got both right there, and they are absolutely outstanding. I got my oldest daughter a used car from there. So whether it's brand new, whether it's used, they got plenty, and nice, real nice place. Plenty in the lot too. There was a time after the lockdown and COVID where it was tough to get a lot of vehicles, right? That's no longer the case, certainly there at Key. That is across the street from Southside. Tinseltown, I should say, on Southside and K. For me, it's pretty simple. When I look at this game, everything, in my opinion, really sets up well for the Jaguars. I think this is a ball game where you simply just have to go out and get it done on the offense. And, the defense has done its part. They did it last week with the return for a touchdown with Oloakon, and we've seen special teams come up big. This is not a good Pittsburgh defense. Again, they're one of the worst in the NFL in total defense. They're one of the worst in the NFL in rushing defense. I mean, they're a 4-2 team, but they give up nearly 145 yards a game on the ground. When you're a winning team like the Jaguars are, 5-2, they are one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL at, right around 80-something. I think it's 82, 83 yards. I don't have the numbers in front of me. And they should be able to pass the football. This is not a good secondary with two of their starting corners right now laboring. That is going to be a game-time decision for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll end up seeing if, in fact, Porter Jr. is going to be able to give it a go. Joey Porter Jr. as well as on the other side, Levi Wallace. Finally for Jacksonville, and I'll continue this on when we bring Hacker on in about 20 seconds. I'm going to sit out Devon Hamilton one more week. And I know coaches don't think that way, but the way my brain works, give him this week, give him the bye, and then see if you can get him for that stretch run of the second half of the season and the playoffs. That's what I would do. But coaches clearly do think differently.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the rubber on the road with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
I think one of the greatest things about doing what we do, or just being a fan in general, is trying to figure out how coaches figure things out. And winning 4 in a row changes it for me. If this team had got 1-3 or 2-2 in those 4, then I'm like, yeah, you tell me Devon Hamilton's healthy, let's play him. Instead, my brain hacker is they've won 4 in a row, give them this week, give them next week, and let's get them ready. But I don't believe that that's the way Doug Peterson's thinking.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's some big names on the Jaguar injury list, and no question about it. The only guys officially out, Greg Jr. and Zay Jones. A lot of guys questionable. Look, Trevor Lawrence is going to play, obviously. You would expect Brandon Sheriff to play. Those guys were questionable going into New Orleans and played. Cisco, Tyson Campbell, Walker Whittle. Peterson even admitted today a little bit, Rick, it does affect his thinking somewhat with the bye coming after Pittsburgh to get that extra week. But, man, this is a big game, going in at 6-2 with 14 days off. 5-3 wouldn't be terrible. But if Campbell's 80%, if Little's 80%, if Cisco's 90%, do you play him or do you sit him down until after the bye?
Yeah, see, I sit him, but that's the other side of it. They may play the role of, if we had San Francisco next week, maybe we would wait one more week. But can we get something out of them? Then they have an extra full week to rest. It really is. I think one of the great, outside of going for it on 4th down, it's one of the greatest conversations that you can have because people swear on it, depending on what side they go. I've always been one of those who's big on rest.
You've obviously done this in Jacksonville for a long time. I have as well. And Florida, Georgia being tomorrow, Jaguar Steelers on Sunday. Something I was thinking about today. Now, the Jaguars have been awful every year going into Halloween, even including last year. They were awful. Other than 2017 was their only above 500 year. How awful is that, right?
Wow.
Going back to 2011, I think they've only been over 500 one time.
Were they one game over in 2017?
Yeah, I think they had lost 3 or 4 times by now. They're 5-3 or 5-4. But anyway, the point is, normally in this city, tonight, this week, it's all about the cocktail party, man. It is Florida and Georgia, Florida. And there's still you can still feel it. But I get the sense in talking to people, social media also, maybe a little more excitement about the Jags and the Steelers on Sunday because the Jaguars are finally good on this weekend as opposed to where they've been a majority of the time the last decade and a half.
You know what? I learned that in 96 when you had the rematch, when you had the Knowles win, the rematch and the national title and all the attention there. But when the Jaguars went on that ferocious run where they won 7 straight, even in a time when this was considered a college town and only a college town. They were real new into the NFL. That was only year 2 of the franchise's history. I noticed that. And I want to say it's Jaguars. But to go against my point, when the Gators struggled, I think it was the Kentucky game, and Travis Etienne wrote, maybe my bro should go out and play at Colorado. And I looked at his mentions. And I looked at people right here in Jacksonville that said, get your ass out of town. Part of me said, no, it's still a Gator town. Yeah. It's still a college football town. You're going after Travis Etienne. People are wearing their their Gator colors before they wear their Jaguar.
And again, that's the social media crowd, and I think we all understand that that's not the majority of people. It's the very vocal minority. Look, I go on based the way I plan, shows that I do. Back in the day, it was Florida, Georgia the entire week, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I might sprinkle in a Jaguar guest or two. I've done a majority of Jaguars this week, and I will do a majority of Jaguars again tonight. Now, I'm going to have Ben Troop on, former Gator tight end, and we're certainly going to break down the cocktail party. I'm not going to avoid it, but just based on my show in particular, Rick, I do far more Jaguars or have done far more Jaguars this week leading into the cocktail party than I have in a long time.
Yeah, it's a fair point, but I think a lot of it is it's a neutral game, and, Georgia's won 24 in a row, and they've won 2 straight national titles. What will be interesting will be if Florida State wins the rest of these games, what's it going to be like that season finale at Florida? Mm-hmm. Because if you start playing the role of, Florida State's undefeated, no big deal, they're a heavy favorite, I'm going to whip out a 1997 tape and show it to you.
Doug Johnson and Jaquez Green, I remember
trying to
arm
tackle Fred Taylor. They were a 9.5-point favorite, and they let that way. And I think that's different. And the major difference in it is that simply the game is in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And look what they did to Tennessee. I mean, outside of that big win at South Carolina, that Billy Napier, he had one last year at College Station, but what's he, 1-6, 1-7?
2-7 now.
2-7 now on the road. He's a different coach at home.
He is.
So,
and look, and Georgia is not unbeatable. I don't think Florida's going to win the game, I'll be honest. I think Georgia's going to win. I'm not breaking any news there. But Auburn was beating them in the fourth quarter, right? South Carolina was beating Georgia at halftime. Vanderbilt was in the game with them in the third quarter. To me, the expectation for Gator fans going into tomorrow, you should expect to be in the game in the second half. If Georgia blows you out, that is a bad look because other than Kentucky, Georgia has not blown out a lot of their SEC opponents.
All right, so all that, what else is coming up tonight?
Yeah, we mentioned Ben Troop, former Gator All-American tight end. We will spend a lot of time on the Jags as we will talk with Cecil Shorts, former Jaguar wide receiver, joins us in about 20 minutes, and we will head up to Pittsburgh. Ray Fittipaldo, my guy up in Pittsburgh with the Post-Gazette, to give us the Steelers side of this matchup on Sunday.
All right, have a lot of fun, Hacker Nation. There you go.
Thanks, Rick.
We're out of here. Thank you to Sean Merriman. Thank you to Tim Brando. I believe that was our guest list. An A-list. Hey, folks, have a great weekend. Be safe out there, please. And enjoy it. Going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to watching the World Series tonight, certainly all the games tomorrow as well as Sunday. For JJ LaSalva, my name is Rick Ballou. We will talk Monday at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jaguars.
From the west side to the beaches.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue.
1010XL